Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Hides of Disney. Today we're making an apple pie from the Whispering Canyon Cafe at Wilderness Lodge in Disney World. So let's jump into it. Alright, to start, we're going to make our pie dough because that has to rest for 30 minutes while we prep everything else. So let's knock that out. So we're going to take 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup of shortening, 1 3/4 cup of flour, 4 teaspoons of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of coarse salt. We're going to take our trusty mixer and we're going to mix it all up until we have nice little crumbles. Hopefully we don't make a mess. Alright. This is the worst instructions ever. This is literally, it's just like a cloud of flour powder in here. Let's do by hand then, because that's the way everyone else should be doing it anyways. Get out of here. So I'm gonna take my hands, I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm literally just going to crumble it up in my hands. It's a texture thing, so you pretty much want the fat evenly distributed so that, you know, you get the nice flaky crust. So I was trying to follow the instructions, but it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. As you can see here, it's all nice and crumbly, which is what we're looking for. That was much easier and so much less noise and dust than using a mixer. Now we're going to add some milk to bring this all together. So we're going to add in just 1/3 cup of milk and then jump in with their hands to bring it all together. Yes, this is going to get a little messy. I'm literally just going to put this right on the cutting board here for a second. I'm just going to press all this together, grabbing all the pieces. We don't want to mix it too much because we just kind of want it to come together. So there we are, nice little pie dough ball right there. We're going to take some plastic wrap, cut off a chunk. We're going to wrap it up. And we're going to put this bad boy right in the fridge, 30 minutes. So now we're going to take our apples and we're going to turn them into sliced apples. Our apples are all sliced. The recipe actually calls to actually have them steamed, blanched, whatever you want to call it. I'm using McIntosh apples, which are a lot softer than Granny Smith would what it actually recommends. So I'm not going to blanch them. Because they're really soft as it is. They got a lot of sugar in them. They'll break down just fine. So I'm just going to add my seasoning, my apple pie spice to them, and we should be good to go from there. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of apple pie spice, and I'm just going to toss them until they're nice and coated. Alright, I have acquired the KitchenAid. We're going to make the apple pie batter. So this recipe is a little bit unique, as it's not like a traditional apple pie. I actually first saw the video from MacKenzie Taylor, another YouTuber who does Disney videos. I really thought it was a cool video. I really liked her video, so I wanted to do it too. So shout out to her for putting together a really cool video. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, this is different. It's pie crust filling, and then there's actually an apple pie batter, or I'm sorry, there's like a cake batter almost. So I'm gonna put that together right now, and I will show you when we put the actual pie together, kind of how it's compiled, and then we'll bake it off and I'll show you how it looks. So let's do this. So we're going to take a 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick, softened. To that we're going to add in 2/3 cup of sugar, and we're going to mix this. What we're doing is we're creaming the butter and the sugar, which helps it incorporate. It also allows us to add in air, which actually makes for a fluffier batter. As you can see here, it is nice and whipped and gets a lot lighter, and that's kind of how you know. You kind of look for the color, and as it lightens up, that's when you know you get a nice creamed butter and sugar. Alright, now we're going to just add our 2 eggs to the mixture. We're just going to mix that until they're incorporated. So 1, 2 eggs. Now that our eggs have been added to the bowl, are nice and incorporated, we're going to add our flour, which is going to be 1.5 cups of flour. Mixed to that, we've added in 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add that to the bowl slowly while it's on. Baking tip is to put your flour mixture on a piece of parchment paper. It's much easier to pour it into the bowl without it going everywhere. Alright, we've added all of our flour. Then I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Alright, so that's all mixed together. This is our wonderful little batter. It's gonna be very cakey. So I'm pumped to actually taste this because I've never actually done it this way. Now that we've completed all 3 components of our apple pie, it's time to put it together. So it's been 30 minutes, I've pulled the dough out, and we're gonna roll it out. We're gonna add it to our pie tin, and then we'll put the rest of the stuff into the pie. Just gonna take a little flour, sprinkle it down on the board here. I want about 1/8 of an inch thick on our pie dough. We don't wanna roll it too much. We kinda just wanna roll it out enough so we can get it into the pie tin. Let's roll this out. Oh, it's a little cold, so. That looks okay. Like I said before, I'm not a master of pastries. So, it's been a long time since I made an apple pie. But I think it's passable. All right, next thing we're gonna do now that we got our pie crust all rolled out, we are going to add a small amount, I think it's about 1/2 cup of the batter, to the bottom of the pie here. So let's do that. All right, so I'm gonna put about 1/2 cup of this batter in here. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. That looks good. And we're literally just going to spread this out on the bottom. We want a nice flat, even layer. Again, I hope there's people watching this video who do baking for a living. They're like, ah, that's horrible, you're the worst. Why would you do it that way? It's my favorite. Challenge everything. All right, so that's nice and spread along the bottom. So drop that little dot in there. All right, so it's kind of spread along the bottom here. To that, we are going to just add our apples, and then we're gonna add the batter back on top of that. Here are all of our apples. I'm just gonna kind of shake it in by hand. Maybe I have too many, I don't know, we'll see. Usually they settle, so. Recipe called for 6 Granny Smith. I think I'm doing 10, maybe 12 apples of these. They were small Macs, it's still early in the season. Oh, that's good, it's perfect, look at that. Woo-wee! Smells fantastic. Now for the rest of this batter here. Kind of plop it on here, or just kind of put it on the middle like I didn't want to do, but that's okay. Just push it around. Show those apples who's boss. Stay in there, apples. Do not come out. Stay in there. I don't really think it's going to matter because it's going to kind of proof up, but all right, there we go. Not ready to go in the oven yet. We're going to add some aluminum foil to the top. What I've done is taken 2 pieces, fold them together to kind of make a nice big piece of aluminum foil. I'm not going to pack it on there because I want it kind of to go a little bit. You kind of want a little bit of a dome in there. And then we're going to put it in the oven for 40 minutes at 350, take the aluminum foil off, and then do another 20 minutes. When I come back, this is gonna be all done. The timer has gone off, so that means 60 minutes is up. Let's pull out the pie. Look at that, guys. Look at that. That's some pie for you. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna let it sit here probably another hour or so. So let it cool down because it's quite hot. But yeah, that looks delicious. So give us some time to let this cool off and we'll come back with a nice slice and we'll taste it. All right, it's time to cut this bad boy. Oh, it didn't come out. All right, so slice one never works for me, ever. I think the batter's a little wet still in here in the center. So probably could have used another couple minutes. But it's nice and brown, so that's why I didn't really think much of it. So let's try this piece here. It's hard to get out there. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, that looks really good though. Much better than the other one. So that's there. As you can see, there's a little wetness on the top there, but I don't think it'll be fine. Throw that on there. That actually came out really good. Amanda's in here with me. She's gonna try it. So let's go. You wanna do the first bite or want me to do the first bite?
You do the first bite.
All right, let me spin it around here.
So just as like a note, I'm not normally a pie person, but I am definitely a cake person and I do like apples. And I like like apple crisp. So here's to hoping. Well, I got very little apple in that. Okay. Wow, that is weird.
As she takes her third bite.
I love that.
I think it's really good. We definitely need some whipped cream or some ice cream to go with it to kind of help, you know, eat through it.
The crust is good.
The apples are cooked perfectly.
Apples are cooked perfectly. I'm really glad you didn't.
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't blanch them or poach them or steam them, whatever you want to call it, because I think they didn't need it because they were that kind of apple.
But that's a really good. That batter with like the apples tastes real good.
The one thing I would do personally though is I would maybe make more of like an apples, like a spice cake. I think you said earlier when I was making it to put some apple pie spice on it. I think that would have been a good idea, actually adding it to the batter. So she was right.
Thank you. Sorry.
So no, that's a good call because it's a good cake, but it's just like
it needs a little.
It is a very straightforward cake. Like there's not even any vanilla or anything in it. It's just it's like something's missing. So, but you know, overall, I think it was good.
I think it being a little bit wet is totally fine.
Yeah, I think it's okay. As it keeps some moisture in it, it's not so dry. Again, we're gonna say shout out to MacKenzie Taylor, whoop, for you know, doing her own video and putting it out there. We just kind of we're not trying to do copycats, but
we are.
But we thought it was a really cool recipe. I've never had something like this, so I definitely wanted to try it myself. Figured we'd put it into a video, so thank you so much for her. We'll leave a link to her YouTube page in the description, so definitely check it out. She's got some cool videos. She's a big Disney fan, so if you want to see some other content from another perspective, definitely follow her. We're the Highs Do Disney.
Yes, we are.
You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook
and all the places.
And all the cool places where all the cool kids are hanging out at. But thank you guys so much for watching. We had a wonderful time. Hope you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Bye.